You're not crazy. You're not losing your mind. You're not crazy. You're not losing your mind. You're reclaiming sovereignty of it. You're not crazy. You're not losing your mind. You are regaining sovereignty of it. I honor all sovereign, honorable, benevolent beings who happen to see this video whenever you do see this video. Okay, here at Blooming Truth. Okay, yeah, we started out as different things. I'm not going to get too much into intros here. I want to get into the discussion. So, you also see as a side subject, your face is the control panel. Our face is the control panel. I'm taking a class by Dr. and forgive me if I'm not saying it properly, Dr. Todd Scott. I also follow him on TikTok. He does not know who I am. Okay, he has not asked me to share his content. I did reshare though, I believe on TikTok. I think I liked his video, followed him, reshared, stuff like that. So I merge that, the things that I learn and I practice, I merge into what I share on my platforms. So as a targeted individual, whether you are somebody that's just singled out, the black sheep of the family, you're targeted on a large macro scale, whatever the case may be, that's a lot of hostile and aggressive energy that you could have been plagued with. Okay. So the control panel being the face, we're going to get into teaching. I'm going to bring up a slide here. I think I fixed the issue from earlier. It's fascinating. Okay. As you continue, let me pull up the screen for you rather than continue to talk. Let me pull up the screen. Let's get that set up now, if I can. Oh, let's see. I think that's it. Share. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let me scroll down True Health, but we're going to go to the part right here where you're seeing this is where we're highlighting right here. Okay. So I'm going to big it a little bit if it lets me. Okay. I want to big it. Is it gonna? Oh, it's not gonna let me. Wait. Oh, there it is. Hold on. I want to big it. Okay. All right. So you're looking at his illustration here. And we're going to get into that in a moment. These are acupressure points. Okay. And you can see the color code to the right. So if you read the description box, I got a little breakdown there for you as well. But the face actually has acupressure points for the entire body. But as you're looking at the screen, if you look to the right, it's highlighting what emotions, energy and motion, what emotions that it correlates to. Even if you're not having pain per se in any other region of the body, these are areas just with your face being the control panel that you can do breath work into simultaneously as you tap in these areas. Okay, why is it important? The first part of the title says you're not crazy, which means there's this undertone of you're being made to look that way. There's this undertone of people are actually doing things to get you to have some kind of a mental or an emotional breakdown with whatever kind of weird hostilities, aggression, spell work, you name it, conscious, subconscious, whatever the case may be. And if you're a survivor of abuse and your life has been an upheaval and you have never been given the space to really ever feel and process, because if you're anything like me, keep on keeping on. Now, that's something, you do, right? We also hear statements like you just do what it do. You do what you got to do. Yeah. And all that energy. This is where sickness is birthed. This is where eventually, maybe not in our 20s, maybe not even in our 30s. This is why a lot of people feel like they think they just got good genes. But, you know, but over a longevity, not having space to actually complete the cycle, letting those energies alchemize it creates all, you eventually then go crazy. If you didn't if you didn't start out crazy, well, because all of that energy. Okay, let me take a look at something here. 1 second. I want to see if I'm okay. Yeah, you guys should be able to see the screen. Okay, so you're regaining sovereignty of your mind. We were all erased, clean slated, wiped, and conditioned. Okay. Um, from the original human blueprint of knowings, not just knowings, but all of the intricate intelligences that the original human blueprint came with. Okay. So if you're starting to, as someone that maybe you're embarking on remembering that, okay, so then you have to be made to be crazy. When you live in a world and a system that relies on the illusion, there's no other option. The only reason why I speak this way because I'm trying to make it plain and make it make sense. Okay? If you're living in a world, a group, a society, an organization, a land, a neighborhood, whatever you want to call it, that relies on its status quo and it relies on the dumb being dumb, and it relies on the ignorant being ignorant, and it relies on, the codependency of what's been established, then somebody saying something else has got to be made in that. So the heaping of abuse commence. The heaping of abuse commence. This is where you're going to get people digging in your life, looking for every last one of your failures and indiscretions. I did a quote that says, they scrutinize your life, your privacy. They scrutinize what you do, your life, while hiding theirs in secrecy. It's the same thing because most of the folks that's on the lynch mob possibly got more dirt and trash than you. But they look for every bad day, and this could be tolling on you, okay, as you attempt to be just a normal person like everybody else with flaws, good days, bad days, on top of the injustices that you're dealing with. Some of you guys got folks doing some inhumane things to your children without even cracking a sweat. Some of them even feel proud about it. So that lets you know something ain't right with that upstairs region. um, and yeah, some people like hate disabled people and stuff like that, but they cover that up. They were possibly the bullies that bullied disabled people and kid when they were in school, and they turned into adults who are still the same way. And and they get a big dig, off of all that. So I'm saying all of this to say that the tools we can put in our toolkit to help, because that's a lot. That's a lot for the strongest of the strong. This is not about being weak, it's about using tools, the sophistication of your body and the knowledge of that that can help you while you're doing all the other things, because I know that many of you, you're doing all, but this is something cool that you can implement and it's easy. It's also something that you can start teaching your kids, because guess what? They ain't teaching them none of that. They're not teaching that. They're teaching them how to squelch at a very early age, or how to maybe just overly talk things, but the talking doesn't necessarily get move the energy. I used to think, especially somebody who that's definitely a strong point, but I used to think that the talk, the talking, you know, is gonna get it out. I don't know about that, because some of us myself included. If we look back, we talked some things to death, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I'm not judging that. I'm simply saying the energy might still be there. Feeling into it, often we can't. It's hard to do, or we don't feel safe enough when we have the space. Tapping is said to be one. It's an acupressure thing. You can press on it, you can tap on it, depending. Let me go ahead and blow this up, bigot, a little bit more. Again, 1 second. I want to bigot. It doesn't sound right. I want to bigot. Okay, we're gonna bigot. Now look at that. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. How many points on the face? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it looks like there's 7 points on the control panel, which is our face. 7 points. Now, you see the color codes to the right? It says brown, metal, sad or stuck. Yellow is earth, feeling low. Now, have you noticed something like it's kind of meridians and, the metals, the elements, the meridians kind of flowing through here? Okay. Purple, the purple dot right here. Hold on, because you can't see my hand. The purple dot, that represents water, fear, paralysis. The greens, wood, anger. So side of the eye here. Okay. The orange is for fire, vulnerable, lost, helpless, muddled, confused. Okay. The pink and the peach is for shame and pride. So let's say, for an example, now they're giving you examples of physical pain. So what you would do is, if you're having pain in areas, you would touch one of the control panels here, and then you will simultaneously, because he has a book about it, you'll simultaneously touch one of those pressure points on those areas at the same time. Okay, that is going to help to relieve that pain or move that energy from that space. Okay, but for the purposes of this video, we're really just talking about emotion in moments and an upheaval, and the you feel sad, all those emotions it says over here. So you're not bypassing any of this. You're not pretending like none of this doesn't exist. You're not stamping a scripture on it. You're not stamping a new age quote on it. You're not, que sera seraing it. You're not hitting all cylinders, because this has no discrimination. This is nothing to do with none of all of that. It's science. Okay. It's dealing with what's affecting us. Okay. And these are not bad in and of itself. Stuck can create sickness and other things. Build up, which ends up leading to what? Openness for what? For those of us that are on a certain path, parasitic energies, vulnerabilities to certain things. They love this. They love this. They love this. Okay? So, let me go back here. You're somebody who's targeted. You're being harassed. Nobody believes you. You're trying to unravel all of your own stuff at the same time. You're trying to deal with the things that you've buried because you've had to survive. You want to give yourself 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, wherever you can, wherever you seem to find it, and still it for yourself. And you may not have the strength, the time in that particular given moment. You may create more later, but in that particular given moment, it's happening in real time. It's happening. You're not in a classroom, your favorite whoever ain't in your back pocket. If you're like me, hopefully you got an app. You get on the app, join a good group. But even still, this is important, because this is something that doesn't require a device. This is something, like I said, it's one of few things that we can do to help ourselves. Okay. And sit with it. I'm going to always say this. I love being my own guinea pig, because to me, that's that truth. That's the solid. Can you are your own guinea pig, then it's no longer, I just read it somewhere. It's, or, somebody told me. It's like, no, I tried it out. I played with it, you know, to see how it worked for me and blah, blah, blah. That's the best thing that you can do. Okay. And I believe with everything else, there's a level of consistency that you build with it to get the body used to you using it. But some of these things you feel immediately. You may not be able to explain, you may not be able to verbalize it and articulate it. There's just the body senses and feels some level of a relief. And again, take it in a balanced grain of salt. If it's something that has escalated and it's like a third, we have so many layers. That's why I said it's not the end all be all, but it's definitely a good starting point, and it certainly is a good maintenance protocol, because we're bumping up against all kind of stuff every day, whether people are doing stuff to us intentionally or not. But the fact that we're all here colliding against one another, you know, coming from all different walks of life and different variables and different physical, mental, emotional, psychological states. That was a lot. Okay. Um, we're likely to run into some things. You're a parent, you show enough is running into some things every day. Okay. And it's like shit. Go go sit in the bathroom and get the tapping. Let's say you feel. Let me find one. Let's see. Um, feel like something's out of control. Let's go with orange. You know, feel like something going on the side of, top of the brow on the right side here, and then on the side of the ear, between the two. Take some breath. Whew, your breath works that you do, and own it. See what you feel. If you feel like verbalizing something, that's sovereign processing there. That's different than just um, having a fit per se. It's given intention. Go, okay, I can see, I can perceive that I feel and think this in the moment, blah, 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 blah. Even though, right? Allow if you feel tears, allow if you feel like the anger bubble up, you know, not attaching, not judging, just letting it happen in our body for 5 minutes. Okay. Kids acting out of control, they're having a fit, they want Skittles, you know. That's a small time, thing, but that can be like a living nightmare for some. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 and 4 kids just wilding out, embarrassing you, crying. They want Skittles, and you're like, OMG, I am trying to fill out this paperwork. I'm trying to do this, and I got they over here hollering, they embarrass me, and then if I get ignorant, so it's like giving yourself, that's small time. But if you all are anything like me, you're dealing with some hefty shit. The point that I'm making is it doesn't matter if it's small time or big time, though these are emotions over here that has a scale, and these are good places if it's not too outlandish. Again, not a physician. You see the disclosure statement if you're looking at this video. So your discretion is advised. This is not in lieu or in replacement of any medical, psychological, or professional help or advice. Okay. Um, okay, so there you have it. Um, blooming truth involves not just telling the hard truths and the readings and the those things, but blooming truth is we're reclaiming sovereignty, and a part of that is knowledge that we were not given, knowledge that is frowned upon, mocked, and I'm kind of starting to wonder why. Actually, let me rephrase that. I know full well why. But the why doesn't even matter. What matters is you all are regaining sovereignty of your mind. We are. And I think of many different situations that any of you all may be having out there. Not everybody is in the same types of situations that allows them to go, you know, drop top dollar fancy insurances and all sorts of things. Some people is they have no other choice but then to become creative, which turns out to end up saving them in some cases. Because what do? At the end of the day, you ain't got Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, or some fancy schmancy, you know. And I'm not speaking totally against, maybe, not really. I feel like it serves. There's some cases where, yeah, you're not fencing to do none of this. You're too far off. You're too far gone, and that's really how I look at certain modalities. And I already suspected this. This chances are is possibly getting or will get a lot of views, but they will try to hide it. And I want to say this to you, if you're a content creator, likewise, if something is not yielding high loosh and it's also maybe giving a little bit too much truth that they don't want, they'll try to suppress it. The algorithms, okay? Or if they cannot, they will try to make it appear as though, just like with TikTok. TikTok, I figured out the TikTok's deal. It's like some of y'all, way more people than seen y'all, been watching y'all, and they played with that. Okay. Anywho, there you have it. 23 minutes in. You are not crazy. You're not losing your mind. You are regaining sovereignty of it. Your face is the control panel of dealing with pain as well as emotion. Your face, there's points in your face that could assist with co-creating, dissipating, emotions that are hard to process through sometimes. Okay. Sending you all honor if you're honorable, love if you're loving, light if you're operating in benevolent light, and then truth if that is what you are embodying and what you're operating in. Namaste.